What is happening, fishers?
What's happening?
Dean from Untraceable Fishing. You're here tonight once again with Jared from Bilinoria Fishing Tackle. Welcome to Tackle Tuesday. Anyway, guys, it's almost my favorite time of the year. The summer months are fast becoming to an end. We've got a couple of days left of summer. Autumn's fast approaching, and that means shad season is on its way, guys. We're just going to run through a bit of an assortment of tackle that we use for the upcoming shad season, what we'll be using to target shad. We've also got something nice and exciting. We've got a new little range of reels that Rovex have brought into the country, freshly landed, guys, coming in at a great budget, and some new rods that Kuma brought out, perfect size shad sticks. So anyway, Jared, how's your take on shad fishing? Some guys like it, some guys love it.
I do it. I haven't got quite into the shad fishing in terms of artificial and spoons and plugs and stuff. I do it on the bait setup, but mainly on like your medium tackle. I don't fish sometimes as light as you guys.
Yeah.
When they are there, it's nice to fish for.
Good
they
fun.
Can give quite a bit of a fight. And it's a nice thing to go down for 2-3 hours after work. You don't have to pack a whole tackle box full of stuff, which is what I enjoy.
Yeah. And if you are shark fishermen out there, shad make fantastic bait, guys. Which I think a lot of guys use them, their heads and their fillets for bait.
That is one of my benefits about the shad fishing,
and
the bait.
And a very tasty fish to eat. So if you are from anywhere else in the world thinking shad, what are you talking about? Shad, elf, from Australia, tailor. In America, they call them bluefish. They get a lot larger that side, guys. So that is the species we are targeting. I think the Latin name is Pototamus salatrix. I might be pronouncing it incorrectly, but what I can remember from when I was a little lad and used to like reading my fish books, guys. So shad can be phenomenal fun fish to catch, guys. From a young age to anyone, to older guys, very easy fish to target, guys. When they come through in their numbers, there's a shoaling fish. They're very aggressive. They bite relatively easily, and once you get that shoal or school turned on,
it's like a feeding frenzy.
It's a feeding frenzy. Like you're not going wrong, you're catching shad. Listen, it's absolutely 2 or 3 seconds and your bait's gone. So you can be prepared on it, guys. So there's 2 different aspects of shad fishing. You can either fish artificials for them, or you can fish bait for them. I like a bit of both. I like to start off with a bit of bait fishing till I can get that school turned on, get them a bit excited, then I'll turn to artificials. I normally carry 2 setups to target shad. So I'm just going to run through some of the lures I like to carry for shad fishing. Last season I found Iron Candy brought out, it's called a Kuta casting spoon, guys. They show Kuta designed lure. Makes a phenomenal shad lure. What's I like about it, comes fitted with a J hook. I hate fishing for shad with treble hooks, guys. They're such aggressive, frantic feeders that you end up damaging 3 or 4 fish. Them just chasing after one, hitting them trebles in the head and stuff like that. And extremely sharp teeth, guys. They also have an anticoagulant on their teeth. That means if it does bite or nip you, you don't stop bleeding. So a J hook is a much friendlier way to fish for shad. You can unhook them a bit easier. So check out Iron Candy's Kuta spoon. Cast like a bullet. Very erratic action in the water and makes a beautiful shad lure. Jared will tell you about the next lure he knows quite well.
Oh, so these are the clones. This has been a really good popular brand on the market for the shad fishing over the last year or 2. They come in a variety of sizes. Generally the guys go between a 1.5 and a 2 ounce. This specific one is the 14 centimeter, but the guys also like the 9 centimeter, the baby clone. Comes in from about a 15 gram up to a 2 ounce as well. I know Dean's had a bit of success on them.
Clone of fantastic lures, nice hard lures, guys. Shad have extremely sharp teeth. Stay away from your softer lures. Make sure you got a nice hard resin cast lure fishing for shad, or full metal lure, otherwise it's going to destroy your lures. And obviously the people's favorite, guys, a spoon is probably the number 1 choice fishing for shad. They're nice and cheap. If you do lose them in the rocks, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Nice and shiny. Shad absolutely love them. One thing to take care, take your trebles off and put a J hook on the back. Yes, you're going to get less hookups, but when you get hookups, you're going to land more fish. You're going to more successful hookups.
And less chance of putting a treble in the finger. I've seen that happen too often. A frenzied shad can give you problems.
Listen, if any of you guys haven't caught shad before, that thing, once it's hooked in the water, it shakes and goes crazy. Absolutely crazy. Once it's out the water, it shakes and goes crazy even more. That thing jumps all over the place. It wriggles around. So extremely difficult fish to handle once they're out the water. They are full of energy and they exhaust all of the energy, guys. So one thing we do need to remember, shad have extremely sharp teeth, guys. I'm talking like super sharp teeth. So you need to be fishing some sort of wire or some sort of protection. So if you are fishing bait or lures, I suggest you either put a little clip-on lead onto your lure, some thin gauge wire, or fish nothing less than 0.1 mil, 0.1 or 0.2 mil. They even bite through that in a heartbeat, but it's going to protect you. Anything less than that within 2 seconds you're going to have a lost lure or a lost hook. So moving on to that, guys, moving away from the artificial lures to bait, there's 3 different ways the guys fish for shad in South Africa alone. If you either fish bottom, which is like same as your conventional bluefish rig, we're going to fish a stationary bait on a sinker on the bottom with no float. Then there's also a drift. These packs are available from Bilinoria. It's pretty much a full floated setup, a small ball sinker with a piece of wire trace into a hook. This is going to be thrown into bays and off harbor points and things like that, where there's not too much wash with waves. Your bait will float on top of the water. Very good way to target shad or feeding on the surface. And then also a stationary floated bait. So we'll be fishing a teardrop sinker anchored on the bottom, using a shad bung or some sort of flotation. Always a good, nice way to catch shad. You just need to check it out, guys. Sometimes the shad are feeding high in the water column, medium in the water column, low. So if you get down there and you find there's movement in the water, you know there's some shad around and you're not getting them on the top, don't be scared to try the bottom. Try find exactly in the water column where the fish are feeding and work it out. Have a couple of casts each and you'll work out where they're feeding. So you'll have a method to target the shad in each sort of the water column, guys. So make sure you got some floats and stuff with you, still trace. Now, when it comes to hooks, there's always a big hoo-ha on shad hooks. So there are many brands on the table, guys. I've got Sensation, I've got Landed, I've got VMCs, BKKs, and Mustards. The main thing you need to be looking, obviously your hook brand of choice, guys. So what you need to be looking at for shad is a nice thin gauge hook. The thinner the gauge, the better.
Yeah.
Nice long shank. Why long shank? It helps you build nice sardine baits up and things like that. And also less chance of being bitten off, guys. So they're actually biting into the shank of the hook. What's your favorite size hook for shad, Jared?
Look, I'll ideally fish between a 4.0 and a 6.0. But I've seen some guys go right up to a 7.0 or 8.0.
Correct.
Even for the smaller shad. As Dean said, they can bite quite erratic. So sometimes the bigger hook is the advantage because it does pierce the mouth better. What I do generally prefer, not to say on a specific brand, but I prefer something with quite a heavy offset.
I agree with you.
It gives you a quicker hookup and a better hookup. You tend to lose less fish with that offset, and it sits really nicely because generally fishing shad, whether or not you're fishing on the ground or if you're fishing on the top, using half a sardine to a whole sardine, it's not something we have to be very fancy with. Generally, the guys will rig a sardine through the eyes, hook coming out the tail. As Dean said,
bait presentation does not count here, guys.
As Dean said, they are known as tailor for the reason they eat from the behind. So an offset hook generally works quite well.
So, guys, when it comes to what I like to do, instead of choosing what hook size I'm going to use to tie in the shad, I go anywhere from a 3.0 up to about a 7.0. I match the size of my hook to the size of the bait I'm throwing. Yeah. If I've got some bigger sardines or bigger pilchards, I'll use a bigger hook, just so the hook's more pronounced. Doesn't really make a difference. If you're fishing a good quality hook from a 3.0 to a 7.0, the hook's always strong enough to pull a shad. You're not going to get a shad to bend a hook in a hurry, even if you are using your entry-level hooks. They're only getting South Africa up to, if you're getting a 5 kilo fish, you're very lucky, guys. They get up to 7, 8 kilos sometimes, but very rare. Most of the shad we are catching here are between lucky a kilo up to 2 kilos, guys. That's the average size shad coming around here. So I might be in particular, VMC and Mustard, in my eyes, make the best offset hooks. They've got the biggest offset out of the range like that. BKK beak holders, also a brilliant hook, super sharp, which I like about them. And Landed also make a very good, their Viking and their black nickel bait holders make phenomenal shad hooks, very thin and things like that. I prefer to use the better brands of hooks that just seem to retain their sharpness a bit better. Otherwise, if you are using a cheaper hook, make sure every 3 or 4 fish you change your hook to retain that sharpness. Shad have a soft mouth, but they also have a very hard little plate in the back of their mouth, which you need to pierce. So now, as I'm saying, shad are erratic fighters, guys. Once those things are hooked, it's one of those fish you don't play. You pull.
Yeah, you
pull and reel. That thing swims all over the place.
Yeah.
So the main thing you need to do that, guys, I found, experimented a couple of different rods over the years and things like that. I found a rod with a softer tip definitely goes a long way because they've got such heavy head shakes like that. As soon as you have a rod that's a little bit too stiff, the shad end up throwing the hooks and stuff like that. The rod doesn't allow the
flex
to absorb the head shakes. Yeah. So the next, when it comes to that, is what sort of pound braid will you fish for shad? Listen, I overkill it a bit. Some guys fish 15, 20 pound. I fish 30 or 40 pound for shad. I know it sounds like, ooh, it's a bit heavy. I don't want to play. Once I hook the thing, I want to get it in as quickly as possible.
Myself, I fish also about a 30
to
or
a 40
40.
pound, yeah.
The chances, as you know, you got a variety of species. You could hook fishing for shad.
100%.
A black mussel cracker fishing into the evening will pick up that pilchard bait, and even a decent cob. And I know sometimes out on the East Coast, every now and then you get the odd yellowtail.
Correct.
That will also pick up that sardine fishing for shad.
Yeah.
So you got to come prepared for a bigger fish as well.
But you want to be fishing a light setup at the end of the day, guys. So rather just upgrade the breaking strain or the poundage or diameter of your braid. You can still get away with a nice 10 or 11 foot rod, 4 to 6,000 size spinning reel. You can still have fun, nice and light. You can fish for a couple of hours. But just in case a bigger fish does pick you up, you've got that extra protection of that thicker braid. So now we've got a beautiful little rod. We need a nice little reel, guys. So everyone's on a budget. Shad season, one of the nice things about shad, you don't have to have top tier stuff. You don't have to have the best of the best stuff. You can get away with a nice budget entry level stuff. You can have fun catching these fish, catch numerous rounds of fish, guys. Rovex, all of you guys know the name Rovex. Rovex is synonymous for the Big Boss, guys. Big Boss 3 still available. I know there's a 4 and 8,000 still available. I know there's some more stock coming into the country soon. But Rovex have come to the party and brought out the TFX, guys. Beautiful little reel. I'm showing the camera there now. Jared's going to hold that. It's a 4,000, if I'm correct. 5,000, sorry.
Smallish size, so it could almost be like a 4,000.
According to a 4,000, it comes in a 6,000 and an 8,000, guys. We had a little feel of this. I know Jared was fortunate enough to fish with one over the weekend. I'm going to be fishing with one this week, and this weekend coming now to try to give it a little bit of a try, I should say. One thing, I'm going to start with the handle, guys. The handle on this reel is phenomenal. I don't think we're talking sub 1,000 rand reel here, guys. We're looking 750 to 799 rand. Yes, you heard me right. 750 to 799 rand. Aluminium body. Nice cast aluminium power handle, guys, which you're not going to see on any other reel, I think below 2,000 rand, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely.
Got a nice thick bail arm, guys. Very, very smooth in the hand. It does have felt drag washers, but for your light and smaller fish, felt drag washers are actually a better thing when you want to smoother drag at low drag settings. Carbon only gets smoother at high settings, guys. Carbon is very sticky at low drag, where a felt drag washer is better for at low drag. So phenomenal reels available from Rovex are available in store at Bilinoria right now, guys. Check them out. As I said, sub 1,000 rand, looking at 750 rand, running up to 799. That little 5,000 puts out 22 pounds of drag, guys, which is more than enough for reel that size. And the bigger boys each put out 26 pounds of drag, guys. Talking a nice aluminium body, aluminium machined handle, aluminium spool, felt washers. So I think nice Rovex paired up on one of those Invincibles, a nice starter setup for shad, and to get some bigger fish.
Yeah.
The nice thing about that sort of setup, guys, you can use it for a variety of species, but obviously we're shad dependent now, guys. What are you going to say? Just very early in the year to be targeting shad? No, it's not, guys. If you're in the East London area, March is the best time to touch shad. We're not getting shad in our numbers. That normally comes Easter weekend, near the end of April.
Yeah.
But over the years of fishing, your bigger fish, if you're looking for those 60, 70, 80 centimeter shad, we call them the wolf packs. Yeah. That's what means small little shoals, guys. 3 or 4 fish in a shoal. This is the time to target them. So look for those days with 18 degree plus water, 17, 18 degree plus water, flat seas. And when the water turns purple, if you don't know what that means, just an hour before the sunset, guys, you're going to check that change in the sea color of the water. Andrew's always going to laugh and say, "Where's Andrew? The water's purple. It's time to fish for shad now." You get that distinct change in the color of the sea, guys, where the sun starts dipping and the water gets that like gray purple color. That's the time to target them. Hour before sunset, hour after sunrise. Not on sunrise, guys. An hour after the sun's risen. That's the best time for me to catch shad. Sounds a bit weird, but anyway. So I hope that's given you a nice little insight into the world of shad fishing, guys. My favorite time of the year to fish. And of course, with the shad, the black steamers come through, the yellowtail come through, the Gary come through. So if you're not into shad, target one of the other species that do follow that fish around this time of the year. Anyway, guys, so thanks for joining us this evening. So from Jared from Bilinoria Fishing Tackle and Dean from Untraceable Fishing, cheers.
Cheers.